to your Facebook page. And we wait for it to pull in the string. It's already pulled it in. Okay. And so we want to go live. Oh, what where's the background you want playing? He's on 8. So you're on 4, you're on 5.
I thought you said 3 and 4. But
Wait.
That's hard.
Hello?
Okay.
One?
I think the music was in. Is it?
Okay. Play it again. Is it moving? I'm looking at it. Okay, tap on the camera. Let me see. How do we loop this?
baby. Welcome to the Duality Podcast world premiere. I am Mr. Business.
It's your boy, Mr. Social.
We're going to have some fun for an hour.
Absolutely.
So gear up, enjoy the ride, enjoy what we bring. Please believe me, don't have no expectations. This is going to be genuine, this is going to be raw, this is going to be us.
And definitely duality. We coming from different perspectives. Even though I've known them a long time, we don't always think the same of how to attack something. But it seems like we always end up coming to the same conclusion. So
yeah, you know, he's the people's person, you know. I'm the villain, good cop, bad cop.
Mr. Social.
So we're going to keep with tradition. You know, I'm going to let him wow y'all, and I'm going to just shut stuff down, and we're going to keep it moving. That's what we're going to do right now.
Hold on, I'm going to tell y'all, one of the things this guy said, this is the kind of stuff I got to deal with. His goal, and it was tongue-in-cheek, to get banned by the FCC. I said,
it's a goal, bro. It's
we
worth
just
it.
got on the air. How we going to get banned that fast? Like,
watch.
see, them the wrong kind of promises to be making. I thought you said no expectation. We can't expect to get banned, but it's possible. But we'll be back because we got some lawyers that's hungry. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So let's do what we do.
One of the things I want to, let everybody know, that was a little bit, but, this is our first show. This is the world premiere. Give it up for that. Give it up for that. The world premiere of the Duality Podcast today, July 12th, 2020. And just give them a little background on yourself, and then I'll do the same, and maybe how we came together with this.
Okay. Originally, this was his idea because, like I said, he got dynamic speaking. He liked to speak to people, and, he's about social consciousness and empowerment, and I was hell-bent against this because I'm a behind-the-scenes dude. I booked the deal, and that's where I stand.
True.
But because he decided I should come along with him on this, we're going to figure out what kind of ride this is.
Right.
But because he decided I should come along, I'm just here. Like I said, I got a plan. He got a purpose. We're going to make it happen.
No doubt. So the same thing, again, we grew up together in Elizabeth, New Jersey. That's the hometown. Shout out to the WIC. Y'all know
Absolutely.
how we get down. Right downtown. But so we've known each other all our life. We family, first of all. We business partners in some other ventures. Good Vibes event planners, Good Vibes entertainment. Ladies at Work, those are our brands. A lot of people out there, y'all know it already. Some of y'all might not, but kind of that's not this. Even though we're cross-market a little bit, I guess, but
Yeah, a little bit.
what this is, like you said, this is my thing. I love it. Our mock here is Mr. Social and Mr. Business. I love the social aspect of things, dealing with people. I'm a real people's person. I think we fit well together like a lot of people do because of the duality of life, right?
Absolutely.
A little yin and a yang, a up and a down, a life and a death. And everybody got a part in that. So together, we make a great team. And I think we're going to do something historic here.
Absolutely.
We really trying to just give everybody another perspective on different topics that come up today. We're going to have some great interviews with interesting people that, you may have heard of, some you may not have heard of, but I promise you they're very interesting, and we're going to have some entertaining interviews. And, that's it. That's how we came up with Duality. COVID, you see my shirt here. Let me show y'all that. Y'all hip-hop fans from the golden era like us, back the fuck up. It's still that time, people. Let's be safe. We in the studio. We are safe. Things are sanitized. We came in with the masks, only right here, me and him. Agreed that we didn't have to wear our masks with each other. We both, we're negative right now, but
Well, basically, we wear one in real life anyway. So, when you in this game, you got to wear a permanent mask, in this game. So
yeah.
And I'm also going to be clear on one thing. Like, listen, I'm not the devil. I might do his business from time to time. But anybody that knows me knows I pretty much help a lot of people. I'm not a selfish person. I just don't like to be seen with what I do. I do it from the heart. I'm genuine. But if I don't believe something, you will know about it.
True indeed.
So,
you know how they say, the people with a few words, but when they speak, it's heavy. So that's cuz right there. But I definitely want to kick off our first show and start to talk a little bit about some of the current things going on. We spoke of the COVID effect. Wow, you see what's going on, man? Do we ever think we have lived through an actual pandemic, world pandemic?
Well, at the end of the day, you know, you got, man, shit, our ancestors lived through worse. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We got to wear a mask. You know what I mean? They went through worse for less. So because of that aspect of it, you know, we ain't hanging nowhere. We just wearing the mask and still eating, still living. They ain't had those options. So this is baby food compared to what they went through. So I'm good with it.
True. Do you, he know me too. I'm always a conspiracy theorist. I don't trust nothing these people tell us.
Absolutely.
As nice as I am, I just don't trust them, man. Too much stuff came up. We know that this, you know, government. I'm worried about him. I might get us banned, right? Engaged in a lot of covert operations, and this could be one of them. But I'll divulge this information. April 8th, I actually tested positive for COVID.
True.
19 on April 8th.
True.
I listened to some people's stories. I don't think I really had it as severe. I feel real grateful about that as some. But, boy, a 5-day stretch, it was crazy. Laying on the side of the bed, trying to get comfortable on the floor, you know, all the body aches. I didn't have the shortness of breath and didn't have a high fever. One of my favorite pastimes is eating. I couldn't taste nothing. Couldn't smell nothing, and it felt super yucky, like, you know, just, it was bad. But I recovered, bounced back. I'm trying to work on now, strengthening the immune system through different things, and, you know, just trying to get overall healthy. But so I definitely believe it's real. Now, I was saying that. It's real. We lost some people we know really
like a
close.
co-worker of mine's, like, he really thought he was going to die, like, for real. Like,
wow.
For real. Like, he was out of work for a month. So I guess everybody it hits different, but his story was like he really thought like he was never gonna see his kids again, that kind of deal. Like scared.
Yeah, it's serious. People, please stay back. Do what you gotta do. The thing is real. They could be playing with the numbers. It's a lot of areas where they could have did that.
Absolutely.
But it's for real. It's some type of virus that's attacking people, man. And we just got to be careful. Do the things they asked you, you know. But the main thing, like one of the things, of course, we know this too, is big money in pharma, big pharma and medication, right? So a lot of the times, only thing that get to me is real. But again, here they go with the slick stuff. They don't promote enough healthy lifestyle, how to prevent it, preventative things. Everything is reaction. Once you get it, do this, do that. But what could they do as the government or on a national level to really push an agenda to be preventative with this and that, like strengthening the immune system?
Well, actually, they pushing the agenda. The agenda is fear. That's the agenda. Like, we want you to buy a lot of stuff. We want you to be nervous and, you know, because it's all about economics. Like, it's money and the treatment. They don't want a cure. It's money in the treatment. Like, come on. I mean, just realistically, a $2 mask, really? A $2 mask gonna really prevent me from being in the morgue. A $2 mask.
Man.
You know, like you said, I don't buy that part neither. Like,
get your immune system together out there, man. We could spread that on our own. It's I don't even want to say a specific product and all that right now, but you could easily, like, YouTube is our teacher, Google is our friend. You know, we got technology, and you could Google anything and get information and cross-check it against several things, right? But definitely, man, do the stuff, do your diet, some exercise. Just let's just get healthy, man. Why not?
Yeah, that's the key. That's really the key. Health is wealth.
And I know I got some work to do. I'm gonna use my resources to get it in action. You know, You know, we know in our community we'll say, "Oh, he just big boned it." Like,
Yeah.
I seen a study actually where they did that because people say it so much. Hey, my people, that is not true. Everybody bones is the same. It don't make you heavier. None of that. You can look that up yourself. So when y'all say we big boned, some people taller, so their bones gonna be longer if you measure it. But it's just not a big boned thing for our weight issues and all. It's a whole other thing. But you know, maybe even our guests could talk about some of that stuff.
Oh yes, absolutely.
When we get him in,
we're gonna get involved and let him dig deep into the whole mental side of things, because you know I truly believe mental abuse and things like that, it carries a lot of weight in your life, like in a lot of areas. Like, you know, I just seen a study where they was talking how mental abuse and opioid addiction are correlated with each other. And
absolutely.
so, you know, he can speak on that, of how one kind of parallels with the other, you know.
I mean, it's just, you know, again, being on the right track, being healthy, and that fits together, right? Mind controls the body, so you got to have a healthy mind to have a healthy body. I mean, that's kind of common sense. That's what I like to do a lot. Just break it down on a common sense level. Like, nobody want to hear you say all these physiological compounds and mixtures of chemical imbalance. I could go there now. Hey, I feel I'm a wizard with the words. You know what I mean?
The bottom line is you ain't find one person that got out of this alive.
Yeah, but, you know.
No, it's just
keep it simple.
Like, you know, I done seen healthy people die at 22. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So, you know, you can be this health guru and fitness trainer and all that and still have a heart attack. You know what I mean? If it's God's plan, it's God's plan. At the end of the day. Now, granted, I ain't telling you to go out here and eat $400 worth of food tonight. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. I'm not endorsing, you know, obesity or nothing. But live your life happy. At the end of the day, that's the key. You know what I mean? Longevity is happiness.
That leads to other happiness. I agree,
exactly. I mean, because, you know, the animals they slaughter, I bet you they weren't happy. So, you know, you got to just do better than them.
Woo, that's why some people say go vegan. I'm my mama.
Yo, they kind of fat, too.
Me and that burger be like,
I don't know. I think vegans be cheating. For real. They be cheating.
Look, it's crazy, though. We could get, I'm even thinking about, like, I know when we was growing up, shout out to this KRS-One twin right here.
Absolutely.
But KRS-One, we had the song Beef. He said this was what, 93, 90? He talked about that. It made a lot of sense, man. And this stuff we learned in our culture versus, you know, we supposed to be in school. They taught us this food pyramid and what to eat. We hear that's all trash now. Like,
right.
So, man, do what's best for you and your family, like he was just saying. It's a lot of research out there you could do on your own. It's things you could just implement in your life that's not that hard. It's real simple. But.
And the FDA know what they're doing. You remember, I think in the 90s, don't eat the egg yolk. 2005, eat the egg yolk. They don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't make up their mind what's healthy or what's not healthy. You know what I mean? Like, they just trying to find, you know, when they did the no yolk, guess what? All this pasta, the no yolk brand came out of nowhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's money and fear of the whole thing. It's just money.
Definitely. We definitely just need to get healthy overall, get your mind right. You know how they say that, get your mind right, your body going to follow, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And we definitely want to make sure we push that on this platform, some positive things, and bring you some great energy and just, you know, access to other things that we've come across during our travels in our life. Right. You know, we're not no spring chickens, so we done have some life experiences.
The stories, I tell
you. We not telling that here. We probably really would get banned. You know, he know all my bones buried. I know where it is at.
Yeah.
That's
it. Good times, I promise you. Yeah.
But definitely now, I think it's the world premiere, right?
Absolutely.
It's the world premiere. So in the world premiere, we wanted to make sure, we told you we're going to have an interview every week right here, 5 to 6 p.m. on the Duality Podcast on BKS1 Radio, right? But we wanted to start off with the right energy, and we wanted to start off our show with something really positive that you guys could gravitate towards. We want to share our platform with somebody like this. Coming right now to do our very first inaugural interview, our very first podcast. Guest is going to be, some people know him as the Brick City Buddha, coming out of Brick City. He's been on, he's a multi-talented brother. He's been on Sway in the Morning, killing the freestyles.
Wow.
He got a music career. He's been on Channel 12 News here in New Jersey. Had a big spotlight on him. And he's dropping music. He has a great big movement going on all over. Got people all over the world reaching out. You can call him a young guru.
Hey,
You know
listen,
what I mean?
that's how it starts. That's how it starts, man.
But he goes in the rap world by Dox Diggler.
Absolutely.
And that's what we want to bring on. The Brick City Buddha, y'all welcome in Dox Diggler.
Buddha in the building. I'm honored to be here. I appreciate my brothers having me be the first guest.
Everybody out there, wherever you at, make sure you give them a round of applause. Even though they can't hear you, they can feel that energy coming here. So
Absolutely.
I'm happy to be here with my big bros, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Welcome, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was telling y'all before, I've been in the building before, but it's different energy, it's a different frequency, and all that matters is right now. So we here right now. What up, y'all?
Absolutely.
What up?
What's good with you?
Good, good. So you at with the Duality Podcast, my man Dox Diggler.
Right.
All right, my brother, I need to know, what started your journey?
Spirituality, music. What we talking about? Spirituality.
Okay, we start there.
We'll start there.
right.
Suicide, depression, lack of balance. Like everybody, most of the, I do counseling too. I just did some sessions before I came in, couples counseling. So holla at me. I know a lot of y'all is trapped in the house by yourselves, and y'all can't escape each other right now. So my couples counseling has skyrocketed. But yeah, man, most people come to me when life is out of balance. When there's three forms of broke: when their pockets is broke, when their heart is broke, or when they just broken altogether. That's I always say people learn two ways: either inspiration or desperation. So I was desperate. Most of us, we got to be desperate to figure out we got to do something different. So I was on the verge of my second suicide attempt. My first one was about 10 years ago at this point.
Wow.
Swallowed a bunch of pills. I was actually still living right in Netherwood Village, like 5 minutes from here.
Okay.
Y'all was talking about opioid addiction. I was addicted to Percocets, weed. I was out here hustling at the time. And things just wasn't working out. Like, no matter what I tried, I called myself Mr. Murphy's Law. Because anything that I tried just went wrong. So I thought. It was actually going right, but I just couldn't perceive it in that moment.
Right.
So being an artist for much longer than I've been in spirituality, I was in a group with a brother who, while we had money on the table, deals on the table, he left the group. Wow. We was about to be this super group of the East Coast called First Staff, Sirius Jones, famous battle rapper.
Sirius Jones,
was part
shout
of the
out.
group. My brother Eclipse, now known as Jay English.
Okay.
He's also been on MTV when he was like still in his music bag, but we was a group at that time, and he decided to leave to take this path. Like, he was kind of brought into this as a family. He always been into meditation. We was mad at him. We didn't understand. We thought he was a weirdo. And come to find out, when I was going through what I was going through, I was super transparent online.
Right.
And me and him had reconnected in that moment. So he reached out to me. He saw where I was at. He was like, "Look, I'm offer you my 5-week course. You want to check out after that? Do what you do. But just, I'm going to give you this for free, see what happens."
Right.
Didn't think it would work. I didn't believe in God at that time no more. I couldn't pray. But I knew I did want to live. I just didn't want to continue to live like this. So I'm like, let me give it a shot. And the 5-week course just changed my whole perspective. My perspective changed my whole trajectory. And 6 years later, now we're here. Like, I'm in a completely different
Wow.
Yo, that's
Absolutely.
Awesome. That's awesome.
That is a journey. I know I also saw in there and reading up on your story.
Right.
You actually healed yourself through that process?
That was part of why I was depressed. So my ex of 13 years, I had lost that relationship. That disintegrated. All the homies I thought was my homies kind of faded out on me. My music connections at the time dried up. And my kidney was conking out. I got diagnosed at 23 years old with 17% kidney functionality at 23.
Wow.
And the only reason I found out I was doing commercial transport, I had went to get a DOT physical, and they couldn't put me on the truck, insurance-wise. So I went to go see what was up, and they said I would be on dialysis by 30. They said I would need a transplant by 35. As a result, a few years later, It was so much pressure in my system, it caused my retina to explode in my left eye.
Man.
Went blind in my left eye, right? It was on the verge of the same thing happening in my right. So, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. You kind of always come up with that mortality in your head, but you think somebody going to pop you or something.
Yeah,
it's different when it's happening from the inside out, and you really feel like you can't do nothing about it.
Wow.
So, once I started to learn these precepts and meditation and understand that it was more so the energy I was holding in. Like, I hadn't cried in 10 years. I wouldn't express what I was going through to people. I thought that was some feminine stuff.
Right.
The minute I started to be able to redirect my energy, the pressure started to relieve itself. I started to come back into balance, and 17% last time I was at the hospital, 73%. They said I could never improve 17%.
Right.
And that's just their number. I know I'm Gucci, but it's go to show you how much energy matters.
That's what's up, man. What an incredible story. Do y'all people hear that? Like, healing yourself.
Right.
That what we was kind of talking about, having a positive mind, which affects your body, right?
Exactly.
That's what that does,
I'm
correct?
living proof, bro.
Wow.
My thing is, I'm wondering, right? Why do, and it's like I said, masculine, this whole masculine thing, like, you basically shed a little light on it, why men are so afraid to just release.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that whole stereotype, like, they hold in so much to the point where they do something dumb a lot of times. And, like, how can you encourage guys to just let it go? Like, you know what I mean?
I teach, at this point, I teach in the Newark school system. I teach at different hospitals in Jersey and all that. And when I'm with the kids at Newark, it's like between like 15, about 21, 22. All of them in the game. You know what I mean? On the set this, on the set that, on the set that. Even the girls in there is in the game. So when we really start to dig into the energy beyond just technique, I let them know, like, when that trigger is pulled, you're not thinking about the rest of your life. You're not thinking about the repercussion or nothing like that. It's just so much energy in your system, and you don't have no other way to release it.
Outlet,
that trigger being pulled in that moment is helping the situation, because at least you could get this energy out. A homie doing some BS to you or whatever it is.
Right.
After the fact, then you got to deal with the repercussions.
Right.
So when I'm able to show them my story, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to show them different simple techniques so they can feel them shift that energy, move that energy, get it out their system. They start to realize that the impulsive decisions they making is not because they stupid, not because it's feminine as a man, it's because they just haven't had the parameters to know, I can move this energy in this moment. I'm arguing with my girl, I'm feeling like I can move it. I can do something with it. So it's just a matter of understanding that.
Now, do you think, because you hear this concept, I'm stuck in my way. Like, do you think, like, there's an age where some men are unreachable? Like, some men get to, like, this adult age where they be like, I'm stuck here, I'm going to stay here, and I ain't trying to change for nobody. As compared to youth, you can kind of reach them. Or is it, you can reach an adult, too. They just have to be open-minded to it. Like, do you find it easier for youth to adults? Like, which one or both? At
this point, I've worked with kids as young as first grade, and then all the way up to brothers that's 20, 30 years older than me.
Right.
And it's really, like, case in point, I work with a lot of women. And when I'm first gathering data that first session, a lot of course, especially a lot of black women, don't get mad at me, y'all.
Right.
A lot of black women will tell me I don't take no SHIT. You know what I'm saying? Right. And when we start to break it down, I'm like, you got a job? Yeah. It's moments in there where you got to take some SHIT, right? So
True.
our ideas of this is me is really based on what I always say is waves, right? When we say our life, we're not thinking about our bloodstream. We're not thinking about every experience that may have happened in our life. We're thinking about those traumatic moments that we carry in this bag that we say is our life. True. And the attributes that come out of that, we form this self-image that projects, and we think, okay, that's me. But so many different moments, you step outside of that, you just don't realize it because you've been programmed to think this is you. So once you're able to make somebody realize that the moment of feeling limited or the moment of feeling like you can't overcome something, there's been many moments where you overcame things.
Right.
So you also have that track record too. You just don't pay attention to it because you've consolidated yourself around this idea that this is me, these are my attributes, I can't do nothing outside of that. Right. So again, once that energy starts to move, you start to realize that that's malleable. We all Mr. Potato Heads. It's just a matter of where you most consistently send your attention and energy, and you end up becoming that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So I know you said like that whole age spectrum there, right? And you teach. So what? Tell us about Med Ed. That's your business as well, where you actually are like getting into schools and getting them into tell us about that, man.
Yeah, so meditation, education, and initially I didn't even want to teach nobody nothing. Like those who work with me hear me say this story all the time. I had got the peace I needed for me. I was in a lot of solitude at that point. I was ready to go live in an ashram, bro. Like, real talk, I was ready to go to India and say peace to all of this.
Wow.
When I got with my wife, she kind of grounded me back into the fact that I had a mission to carry out.
Right.
But a lot of that was just me understanding that I had to move beyond where I was prior to coming to this journey. And meditation, education kind of popped into my head when I remember my first class I did, Branchbrook Park. I was still on disability, still living out here. So I didn't really have much money to even pay my bills, but Spirit is like, yo, you got to start teaching. And it told me to go to Newark, where I'm from, right? 40 minutes away. So I ignored it for like 2-3 months. I finally go there. One person shows up. After all the promotion and marketing I did, one person showed up. But that session was so beautiful. She broke down, she released, she cried, and I understood in that moment that one person showed up to hear what I had to say and got something from it. That was enough for me to start to have confidence in myself to go forward and just continue to do it. Not thinking I'm going to pay my bills off for this, I'm going to retire off. Didn't think about none of that. And as I just kept tilling the soil, by the end of the summer, 50 people was out there. By the next year, people, like 100 people was in the building, right? And it just got to the point where I remember my homegirl, Taj, she had came to a class, and I still wasn't charging. And after the class, she put $10 in my hand. She was like, look, what you giving is too powerful to be free, right? Next time I see you out here, you better have at least a donation basket.
Right.
Because I didn't even think I was worthy enough to charge somebody for that, and I wasn't even thinking about it. Right. I mean, but my black woman giving me that wisdom in that moment is like, you know what, maybe I should. And step by step, that developed in, to my business, meditation, education. And now I remember the lecture I did last year for a hospital in Trenton. Y'all just talking about Trenton. And I'm in front of 400 doctors and dentists and with letters behind their names. And mind you, I still don't have an official piece of paper. Like, God is my credentials. And I'm in front of them doing my thing. And they coming up to me afterwards like, yo, I never looked at it like that. All the 15 years of schooling they got. You know what I mean? So just breaking that program of I'm this. I can't do this because I haven't done. Once I broke that program, everything became possible. And now we here, meditation, education.
Good. That's nice. And you have classes online as well as in school?
Yeah, I teach in the North school system via Lotus Yoga. Shout out to Jennifer Cole, who works for the mayor's office, who pulled me into that program. I teach at different hospitals, one in Jersey City, Hoboken, and in Trenton. And then I have my own platform where I roll out my own events. We have weekly classes now online. COVID kind of pushed that more so. Free class every Wednesday, 6:15 a.m. And then Sundays, 11 a.m. And then outside of that, we still doing our actual physical events and things of that nature. Yep. And then when the building opens back up, we also have a yoga studio in Orange, New Jersey, beautiful yoga studio where we do a lot of work and events out of there too.
Tell us real quick. Also, that's great, man.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the things. I think a lot going on in this country, especially about how the systemic this, systemic that. And I think we do need to do away with a lot of our systems, and one of them is the education system.
Exactly.
So injecting that, I know that is a movement kind of in the country where they're taking out in-school suspension and detention and add meditation.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that's awesome that you're doing that here for us, for our kids, our youth here, man.
Right.
But also explain, I hear that you got this movement going. It's called Peace in the Park.
Peace in the Park.
Go into that a little bit.
So when I first started doing my free classes, it was called Peace in the Park.
Okay.
So I kind of did away with that once we got a space. We stopped working in nature as much. But when COVID happened, we didn't really have a choice but to, go to the live streams and things of that nature. So I had came out of meditation like a month ago. I wasn't thinking about my platform or nothing like that. I was in the shower, and these downloads just started coming in. And initially I had an apprehension because it's like, bro, like we can't bring people together right now. Like even if I launch this, like who's going to respond to this positively?
Right.
Spirit told me to do it anyway. Build Noah's Ark. Like Spirit, tell y'all here right now, build Noah's Ark. Right. So I put it out, and there was an immediate response. Like people were saying, like, yo, I need this. I need to get out of the house. And it's in such a big area that we were still able to maintain our space, our safe distance. But yeah, the first one we had about 100 people out there. Meditation, yoga, vegan food, like y'all was talking about, ritualistic dance, djembe drums, black-owned vendors. And it got so crazy that first one that people who couldn't make it to that one, they was like, yo, y'all gotta keep this going. So it turned into a recurrent thing. We're gonna do one once a month, the last Sunday of each month, as long as weather permits. The next one will be July 26th.
Okay.
11 a.m. to 3:33 p.m. and they can see all the information on my page to register. Make sure y'all register ASAP because tickets go crazy. The last one we had like 200 people out there. Again, enough space for all of us to do our own thing, like 10 black business vendors and things of that nature.
Where does this take place at?
This takes place in South Mountain Reservation, which is in West Orange. Once they register, we give you the specific part of that because it's like a 100-acre reservation, so you could get lost. But yeah, we do it once a month now, so that's coming up.
Wait. I heard you say this, and I'm quite sure it has some significance. You said at 11:11. You start at what's that about?
All right, so numerology. Numerology was something that I started to. I knew about it beforehand, but that's the thing about when you start to take direct experience with the spiritual journey. These things start to come alive. It's not just something you read on a page no more.
Right.
And you realize that source, God, universe, whatever your name for it is, it's always talking to you. And it's talking to you in the most subtle ways that you would normally overlook because we think God got to crack the sky open and send a bolt of lightning. It ain't like that. God's super regular. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I started to realize when I was leveling up that these numbers, like a lot of people, would start to pop up, 1111, 333, right? So there's a book I would recommend, Numerology, The Divine Triangle, right? Y'all could go look that up on Google. But when I got with my wife and we got pregnant, my son was supposed to come 10/13, right? October 13th. From that point, 13 just got relentless. Every single day it will pop up for both of us in so many moments, giving us so many messages. Y'all can also Google when certain numbers pop up. Like you said, Google is our friend, right? Just go on Google, say spiritual significance of such and such.
Right.
And read what it's, and every single time it will be right on point. Now, 10/13 came, he didn't come. Right, so she felt like, all right, maybe we was bugging. I knew what was up though. Like I'm older than her, so I got a little more leeway in the spiritual journey.
Right.
He ended up coming 3 weeks later, 10:31, 1:13 in the morning. So our family's numerology is 13. So we do our best to like structure everything around that frequency, number, vibration. Yeah. So 11:11, 3:33.
That makes a lot of sense, man. It's like you can pull energy from everywhere.
Right,
this guy. Give it up for the young guru right there, the Brick City Buddha. We gotta give him that's some great information. And it's just a couple more things I want to touch on real quick, especially so now you got med ed. When you in the school system, you actually teaching the youth about meditation. Then you bringing together people in the park, peace in the park.
Right.
So it's something else. I did a little research on you. You actually want to do a full retreat.
Yes.
Is that going to be a week long, a weekend? Give us some information about that retreat.
So we'll be starting out in August. We still securing the dates. Shout out to Kati, because at this point, part of the reason I wanted to bring back Peace in the Park, because when I started doing it, it was just me. Now I have a village, I got a team, I got a tribe, whatever you want to call it, of other practitioners who are experts in what they do. So Kati kind of came across this land with her family. It's 26 acres in PA. And we've been gearing up to start doing retreats out there. So the first one is going to be a 2-day retreat. But eventually we will be doing week-long, month-long. We'll even have residencies and things of that nature. People who want to come help work the land. You could almost stay there pretty much for free. Like,
wow, it's going to be a commune type of situation.
Exactly. And it's funny because we was making jokes about the fact that we starting to look a whole lot like a cult right now. So I just want to let people know, like, and that's one of the things I appreciate about our community. Even though we super deep into what it is we do, into spirituality, I think we here to show people that you can still just be regular. Still just live your life. You ain't got to show up in a long white robe and all of that. You can still talk your talk, drink your wine, smoke your blunts if y'all do all that, but still honor God at the same time.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're going to start cranking those out soon. Just make sure y'all pay attention to my pages. I'm on Instagram, Brick City Buddha. That's Brick _City, CITI _Buddha. And then on Facebook, Docs Diggler. And then you can also check out my website, brickcitybuddha.com.
So you saying it ain't going to be like I don't know. You said your age. We showing our age. Remember on What's Happening and rerun went to the coat. And it was boom, and they had the head of lettuce, Ralph. They was giving praise to Ralph, the head of lettuce, man.
Nah, it's no Najee Ramba. None of that. I mean, we ain't got to drink no Kool-Aid or nothing like that. Just come get these keys, spread this love. And that's one of the things, too, that I appreciate about how we approaching it. Because being that it's mostly a black and brown nucleus,
right,
we're not limiting ourselves to that. Because I find a lot of the hate that we carry into our level up, we kind of incubate ourselves into only black people being able to interact. And it's a lot of white people, Asian people. Like at the last one, we had every single shade that you could think of.
That's what's up.
And to see that much love being exchanged, you got to think about it. When Malcolm X came back from Mecca,
absolutely.
and in that letter that a lot of people leave out, when he started to talk about I was next to blue-eyed, blind white men that was praising the same God, and I saw the same purity in them. So it made him start to question himself. As soon as he started to talk about inclusion to a certain degree,
right,
you out of here.
He was out
now
of
you
here.
too powerful.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got that message.
Same thing with Martin Luther King. The Poor People's Campaign encompassed the white poor in the rural areas.
Exactly.
As soon as you start pulling them together,
right. It was
finito.
out of here. So yeah, this platform is open to everybody, man. Sexual preference, belief system, race, color, creed, it don't matter. Just come get this love, come get these keys.
Let me ask you this. When you started out and it was from the love, now when you add in economical value to things,
right,
does it change your perspective? Like, do you have to be like, okay, I can't have all the time the love. I got to do business too. Like,
great question.
Like, how do you separate it?
That's
you know
Mr. Business, man.
Yeah, like, you know, because I understand it sometimes. You know, the business, you got to be like, I got to shut myself off to a certain point.
And before I even answer that, did y'all mean to dress like that?
No.
You realize the duality. You was talking about you being the devil. You got the red on, but you still got black and white. You got the white. Y'all still in duality even in how you look. I just wanted to mention that. I paid attention to that before we started.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Don't be up here reading us and all that. That's a little scary now, bro.
You got the
You about to
stones
tell us
out.
our future and everything in a minute, but
Absolutely.
numerology, 1 + 1, do the math. Nah, I'm just
one fish, two fish. But nah, great question, and it's funny because like my wife is 15 years younger than me.
Okay.
I never thought I'd be in that situation. I was after the cougar cooch for most of my life. Like, I always loved the older women. I would even say like I'm never gonna be with a young chick. And it's just funny how things change when you start to change and you realize what was really for you that you was running away from.
Right.
So it's interesting that she's so much younger than me, but she was raised like as almost like a lot of masculine energy. Like her father raised her as a business person.
Okay.
So she has a super business acumented mind. So she's always thinking about the next step, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. I do too, but I'm more so into flow and just letting God work.
Right.
So anytime we having meetings and we talking about, all right, so how much we gonna make from this? I just had this conversation with my mother. Like, I really don't think about money. Right. It's very seldom I even check my bank account anymore. You know what I'm saying? When it's time to pay my bills, I go do what I got to do. But outside of that, I'm not, all right, let me just, it's none of that. Because I understand that abundance is energy itself. So this conversation we having right now, this platform y'all creating that's spreading light, spreading awareness, that's a form of currency. And I was at a spiritual retreat, and it was broken down to me like this. You got the word currency, which we usually attribute to money.
Absolutely.
Right.
Currency means an unbroken circuit of energy. It's two poles to that, giving and receiving. So anytime you give in any form, holding the door open for somebody, checking on somebody, you are attracting a certain level of abundance to you. And I do that so much genuinely because I've been in those situations where nobody checked on me, and I know what that feels like. So I'm constantly doing that in some way, shape, or form for other people. I'm always in that currency. So even in events, it seemed like, all right, we're not going to pull this off. We like 3 days away. We got 3 tickets. So I just know it's going to work out however it needs to. The Channel 12.
Right.
The vegan Thanksgiving that we did, the first coverage we did, and they did 5 stories on me like in that 2-month span.
Wow.
It was 3 days before vegan Thanksgiving. We had maybe 10 tickets sold. And the year prior, we had like 90 people.
Right.
So we had a meeting the night before. We like, yo, I don't know if we could do this. That's what they were saying. I'm like, nah, let's just ride it out. The very next day, I'm at work. I'm at my side job. This white couple comes in, and I noticed the dude, right? He I didn't know he was the weatherman for Channel 12. I just knew I knew his face.
Right.
They come up, and I just treat everybody the same. So we starting to talk, and one of my coworkers is like, yeah, you should interview this guy. Like, he does all this different stuff. that opened the portal. We started having a conversation, and that got me on the news. And the next day, we had twice what we had sold last year in that moment. So just spreading the love and just trusting God. I don't got to worry about the money. It's going to come anyway.
That's
you know
absolutely.
That's really what's up. Like, and I know you mentioned a couple times, like you said, God regular, and your whole movement is for everybody that's inclusive. I want to kind of pivot a little bit and show that you mean what you say and you live in that.
Right.
Because you also are artists, right?
Right.
You perform, so
I
even though
was
all
that before any of this.
no doubt, no doubt.
Right,
So
right.
you stick to that. That's
Right.
the outlet for you. So tell us a quick history about your artist career, and I know you got a project coming soon.
Right.
If you could, tell us about that as well.
Right, so I started out doing slam poetry. I don't know if y'all remember that era.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where that was super big. Almost like, it feels like battle rap, but not aimed at nobody. More so aimed at society. So Saul Williams was somebody I was super big into. And initially, that's how my creative journey started. When I was 19, my sophomore year in college, and mind you, I was a minister in training from 17 to 19.
Okay.
Grew up in the church,
Right.
But still had that balance of like playing around in the streets with the homies. I'm right in Newark.
Right.
So when I saw my sister start to level up, and she was a problem child, no disrespect, Nikki. But when I saw her take church seriously, I'm like, bruh, let me go see what's going on. And that started to open up my groundwork of spirituality, even though I'm not really a Christian no more and all of that. So initially I was super quiet coming out of being in college, chicks trying to get at me. I'm not even having no sex, nothing like that. I'm just my books and the word and starting to write.
Right.
It was a battle happening at the school, and I didn't even know I could rap. My homeboy was getting chewed up by this dude from Patterson. I just jumped in there. Like, stuff started coming out just like I said on Sway and all of that. And that turned into the people who saw that that had access to the studio saying, yo, start coming to the studio. And one of those brothers wound up becoming my manager. A few years later, he introduced me to the Heatmakers, Arsonist, 25 times platinum, created the Dipset sound, really the originators of the soul sample even before Kanye and all of
shout
that.
Out to,
shout out to the Heatmakers, still my brothers. And that kind of took me to a journey of music that lasted for about 12, 13 years before SHIT hit the fan and all of that. Worked with a lot of different legends in the game, and I was on the verge of like stardom a few different times.
Right.
But I see now why it wasn't meant to happen, because I had to add this piece of the puzzle to it. That success would have destroyed me then. I wouldn't have known how to handle that. So, but yeah, definitely had a beautiful run in music, and now I'm coming back. Album There Is No Spoon.
Okay.
And y'all seen The Matrix?
Yep.
So that's one of my favorite movies. Also kind of expanded my consciousness. And there's a part in the first one where Neo goes to meet the Oracle, of course, a black woman, right? So he in the waiting room, and the little kid is showing him how to bend the spoon, right? So he lets him know, like, it's not that you can physically bend the spoon. You got to realize that this entire world is a projection of your mind. When you understand the spoon doesn't exist in that form, it's just energy, then you could bend it. And everything I'm doing in my life now is bending spoons. So the whole album is almost like a movie. It's almost like a story of my journey from that point to here, bending these spoons. So that should be coming July 31st.
How many
July
tracks?
31st.
How many tracks?
It's loaded. We got 16 tracks. It's about an hour-long project. I'm kind of taking it back to when we could appreciate that.
Right.
Pop an album in and let it ride,
Let
right?
it ride. I got skits in there. It literally plays out like a movie.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to releasing that and just getting that out of my system, because it's been in the tuck for like 3 years. And when I did Sway, doors was opening up again, but meditation was starting to bud. So like to identify myself as an artist for 13 years and then to have to kind of let go of that, it gave me a level of freedom that I had never had. Like crunching yourself into I gotta be this, and all of a sudden you don't gotta wear that bag. I kind of I was appreciating that. But then when COVID happened, all of a sudden videographers like, yo, you wanna do something? Engineers like, yo, you got a project? People just start coming to me, and our spirit let me know, all right, it's time to get this out.
And I do believe, too, like the COVID in its own way slowed down the hustle and bustle and made people really find out who they were.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Because as people, we can go to the store and all this as if it's a routine.
Right.
COVID broke the routine.
Exactly.
And you had to really look at who you with.
Right.
You had to look at yourself.
Right, and what's important.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. So, like I said, it had its place in your journey as well. You know what I mean?
It's a gift and every curse.
Absolutely.
Yin and yang.
So definitely. Now, what's the name of that album? Say it one more time.
Yeah, There Is No Spoon. Just stay in contact with me. We'll start rolling out our promotional content probably in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, There Is No Spoon coming soon. Yep.
Yo, so listen, man. We want to wrap up our first interview ever on the Duality Podcast.
Appreciate you, bro.
With this
Appreciate
cool guy, man. I mean, you really cool. Seriously, I sat here and learned something. And this is our first time meeting. I follow you on social media. Yeah. Definitely not going to be the last, brother. Doc Stigler, the Brick City Buddha.
Love, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro.
Y'all make sure y'all check him out. His album, July 31st.
There Is No Spoon.
There Is No Spoon. Yep. And remember, Peace in the
That's
Park.
a dope title, man. That's really a dope title.
Peace in the Park at
South Mountain Reservation, West Orange, New Jersey, July 26th. Register ASAP. The link is in my bio on IG. Yeah.
Hey, man, we appreciate you coming by. Look, I want everybody to know when we reached out to him and I told him it was the first show, like he took that on. He didn't say, let me come in a couple when y'all build up a little bit. None of this brother came right in and said, oh, man, I'm honored that y'all asked me first. So really humble, genuinely, and we appreciate that, man. Coming from Mr. Social, Mr. Business. We get you back here when you got more stuff. You got a whole bunch of stuff going on that I know you're gonna keep building, brother. And we appreciate you and wish you all the best and everything for you and your family, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all. And absolutely, understand this. Let him be the guy to coming on this show in a sense where if you have ego or you got arterial motives, I promise you, you will not come here. You will not last here. You will probably die here. Okay? Right? This is genuine what we're trying to do. And we want people to have the same energy, the same spirit. So, like I said, if you come on some prima donna kind of stuff, no, we don't want you here because that's not what this is about.
No doubt. No doubt. So that, our interview session. You guys can come if you want to be a guest on the show. You can email us at dualitypodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
I mean, we might get you up here, we might not, but depending on how interesting you are. You got a story like that, brother? Can you heal yourself?
Yo, that's deep too. Cause you think about it, man. Health insurance ain't worth a damn right now. Like,
hey, I might need to sign up for that. We're gonna get in touch with doctor. I need some self healing, man.
Man, listen, can't always go to the liquor store, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen to this. How many of y'all out there watching? You could get this number right now. Call in the show. Tell us what you think about our first guest, about our first show. If anybody call in, it's 646-233-1302. 646-233-1302. And we'll take some calls as they come in, but we definitely going to finish kicking it. So tell me, really, how you felt about that young man?
No, I like the journey, and I like that he's still on the journey. Right. He has not stopped, and he still got things that he's trying to get done. And because of that, I like his business plan. I like how the way that for him, I'm not trying to reach a color. I'm trying to reach a soul. And that's different.
And that's real and authentic.
Right, that's different, you know what I mean? Because some people, like you said, they got demographics or I need to reach this. And once you put yourself in the box, that's where you're going to stay.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the fact that he didn't box himself in, he was like, listen, my gift is for the world. I'm going to share it with him.
And I definitely appreciated like what he said, even though you into whatever you're doing, you still could get on this journey, you know what I mean, to meditate. He was like, if you smoke blunts, if you do this, LGBT, it's all inclusive.
Absolutely.
I did really appreciate that. And I also, one of the things stuck out, you know me, I'm always all over the place. He can do more than one thing. So he's artist. He has what his foundation is, the spirituality, but he still let his life go in his different outlets, and that's definitely what I'm into at a lot of times as well.
Yeah, now it's easier said than done for a lot of people. Like, granted, like I look at it like he's one of the ones, everybody can't multitask.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So some people do burn out, you know what I mean? Where they trying to, that's why I asked him about when the money comes in, does that change the love or something?
Right.
Because a lot of people, once they start making money, they forgot why they got into something.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then it no longer becomes love. It becomes a chore. It becomes a job you don't like. So it changes the whole perspective of why you're doing it.
True indeed.
You know what I mean? And you can tell even with any artist, any entertainer, if you listen to what they doing, you can tell, you know, when it came from a level of pain, came from a level of joy. Like, you really know how they came and how it came about.
Right.
So I kind of like the way that he's like, I don't value, like, money means nothing to me. Like, my currency is not that. And because of that, I'm like, he gonna be all right. You know what I mean? He's gonna prosper. He's gonna continually prosper because he's doing good work now.
Y'all make sure on all his social medias that I seen it. Docs Diggler, you can get to him through the music. Website Brick City Buddha. That's CITI. You spell city. But definitely, you know, we down to our last segment here.
So we're gonna do this right here.
All women have a skeleton in the closet.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to do it. We're gonna try that one more time.
All women have a skeleton in the closet.
We're gonna end this show with entanglement.
Hey, let me give him this again. Call in if you want to talk about entanglement. 646-233-1302. Call us right now. We're going to talk about this entanglement thing. It's the hottest thing that's on the internet right now.
Absolutely. It's funny as hell, too, because the memes are hilarious. Like, yo, they got Will ready to pretty much shoot up everybody in these memes. Like, you see his face, like the pain.
One of the things right off the bat that I'll say, I know everybody talking about it. I know a lot of people saying stay focused. We got a lot going on.
Right.
But, you know, this is what we doing here at this podcast. All right? And one of the things, though, I say and I say we, because I might have partaken in some of the rhetoric, but we had this couple made out to be Holly weird and they swingers. And the first thing I noticed, boy, Will's face did not look like he was with them. I had to rethink that whole thing. Like, wait a minute. I thought why he mad? They swingers. They got an open relationship. He wasn't with it, bro.
It wasn't even his face. To me, it was Jada when it started. Jada really showed like she had some hood in it. Will was like, an entanglement. Jada was like, yeah, an entanglement. Like what? You know what I mean?
Like quit asking me, didn't I tell you?
Yeah, like eat that. You know what I mean? That's why Will was looking like, I said, you gonna mess right around. I'm gonna flip this whole table. But like his whole attitude changed because she was so like cocky with it. And now, granted, let's be clear, this did not happen recently. If you listen to it, this was like 6-7 years ago.
Been a while.
Right. And Will even said it in the interview, like, I was pretty much gone. Like, I was out of it.
No, let me quote. He said, I was done with your ass.
Oh, okay. We're going to keep it clean. All right, you're right. Right. So that whole situation, you know, why she called it what she called it. Now, me personally, I didn't like the fact that they both admitted this boy was hurting. He was emotionally destroyed. Like, he had problems.
True.
So basically, she cured her boy toy. Like, she made him what she wanted him to be. Like, she was on some Holly Berry Monster Ball, make me feel good on the inside type deal. And then when he fell in love, she wondered how that happened. Like, you did that. Like, you did that.
Wow.
The boy was damaged. They both said it. Like, he was crushed in life.
So you saying she came, something that men get accused of is basically played on his vulnerability, his
played on
hurt.
it. Shoot, she reconstructed this kid.
In her own image.
Yeah.
A perfect boy toy, huh?
Exactly. Until he messed around and I think he said the wrong words,
She put that kook on him.
Yeah, you know, you look at Jada, man, she historical, man. Like, I don't know.
Listen, like I said, one of the thing that stick out the most, they supposed to be these real progressive-minded, especially when it came to relationships or marriage. And like I said, that one-on-one interview, I just didn't see that. That man looked genuinely upset at the situation. Not no more, because they like you said.
No, because I believe she lied the whole time. Because you listen to the other part of the interview when he said, I'm going to get you back, and she said, you know, basically, I think you already did that. He laughed, but he was laughing and like, you know what I did. Like, I ain't even hide it from you. You know what I did. But you've been lying about this boy for about 6-7 years.
That's very true.
So that's different. He was like, you know who I am. You know what I did. You know what I mean? So listen,
Hey,
you the
ladies,
one was lying.
what Eddie say again over there?
All women have a skeleton in the closet.
Hey, and we know it now. Look, Jada is like the poster lady for skeletons in the closet for women.
Exactly. But you know what? This did happen around the time. Remember the tabloids? They had them divorced around this time too.
Right.
So there was some truth to they wasn't together.
Absolutely.
So Jada didn't have no reason to even lie about it.
Yep.
But the fact you brought this boy in your house, all the while you had a hidden agenda. Well, I could be wrong saying hidden agenda, but you had an agenda, you know. Because there was rumors too. Now, you know, look at Girls Trip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Jada was pretty much playing Jada on Girl Trip. Like, that was really Jada.
Right, and she had to get out and get something.
Word. And remember, she was like, I ain't seen nothing that big, because rumor had it, you look at it, check the research, that August wasn't, you know, he wasn't a regular dude. So that's why I guess
Pause.
So I guess that's why the Girl Trip, she played that shit so well, because that was based on her real life.
Wow, that's crazy. Just telling us in front of us all that
Absolutely.
without telling us.
And like you said, she was that goody two up there and all that. Remember, Will took all the hits back then.
Right.
Will took all the hits. Jada was just sitting in the cut, but Jada was the one doing, listen, don't get entangled unless you want to get strangled. You know what I mean? Because Will
Y'all know
had
y'all
that
would have
look.
killed us for coming up with a word like,
What?
he ain't had to tell her. He just made up some word, entanglement.
Yeah, that's why
Nah, I'm
Will was
joking,
like,
ladies.
but
Don't come at
Will
us.
was like, oh, you want to call it entanglement? Like,
Oh,
nigga,
yeah, he pushed it. He made
Yeah.
it come out like, okay, I had a relationship.
Yeah, like, come on, you know, it was a situation. That was a situation for a year. That's not a situation. That's a real thing right there. And he was in your house. Will fed this man.
Wow.
Like that, see, and this is why the cemeteries and stuff are where they at. Because you can't, he fed him. Like, come on, bro. He literally fed this kid, brought him in, and he was thinking he was hurting, and Jada was like, I got another plan.
You know me, though. One thing I'm going to say to end it kind of positively, I would think, is that they were sitting down talking about it. They got through it. You know, a lot of people could go through, you know, minor stuff. Oh, yeah, fuck you. They go their way. They
Right,
can't
right.
resolve it. These are major issues that these people seem to be able to at least talk through. It wasn't the best. They was talking about separating, but they did move through it. So,
And like you said, because this was 6-7 years ago, it wasn't current.
right.
So like you said, they went through all they went through. And so, yeah, so they was like, all right, we beat that. Now, why the dude came out with it all of a sudden, he must got an album dropping or something.
Album dropping soon.
Yeah, because, you know, the only time this happens is when you're trying to get back in the game or something.
Right.
Because that's too long ago to bring it up
Bring
now.
it up right
It's just
now.
too long ago. Like, I don't get it. Like, what was his motive? And, you know, it didn't work for him anyway at the end of
Right.
the day. So, it is what it is.
All right, guys. We coming to a close of our first ever. Can you believe this
Absolutely.
podcast? Duality. Let's give it up out there. Y'all see the first podcast ever, the world premiere of
Wow.
Duality the podcast.
We
Every-
appreciate you.
Before we go, good job, man. I want to tell you
Absolutely.
that was fun.
We just fucked up COVID, but go ahead.
Yeah, we wasn't social distancing no more.
Yeah, it's over
We
now.
had a good thing going. It was my bad. I'm gonna sanitize before as soon as we get out of here.
It's
off
all
the
late
air.
and shit, but all right.
One thing I want to do though, I want to send a shout out and I want to challenge my son, Jihad, aka Lil Bimbalo. I don't know where he got that name from either.
He mean it, though.
But we had a rap battle on Facebook, right? So around our neighborhood in the hood, everybody, what's up with round two? Even you act like he beat me, but he didn't.
Bars.
I smoked him, and I was holding back. But I'm challenging you right now. All y'all go on my regular page. This Friday coming up, what's that date?
The day you lose, that's all that matters. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Friday is
Bruh, you lost that.
the 17th. We going live Friday evening, round two, Triple OG versus Lil Bimbalo. I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, I'm coming for you, son.
But for now, I want to say peace, blessings, duality. See y'all next Sunday.
Peace. What? Yeah. It's a wrap. How did that sound from out? I want to see. Look, I want to see how many people was on.